Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to make a few remarks to bring us up to speed on the recent activities, interventions, and plans of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and Social Development. In the time since I was here last, we have made progress on the overhauling of the homegrown school feeding program, and sensitization has already begun in the three frontline states of Lagos, Ogun, and the FCT, which were in readiness for full implementation. And the overhauling was sequel to a March 29, 2020 directive from Mr. President directing the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and Social Development to identify modalities on continuation of the school feeding program during the COVID-19 pandemic across the nation, even in lockdown state as at then. Following this directive, the ministry, in collaboration with the state governors, identified the distribution of take-home rations as a feasible method of achieving this directive after exploring many options and following consultations with state governments and sundry partners. The plan was adopted with implementation now set to begin. The program will therefore be carried out based on data provided and structures put in place by participating states through the homegrown school feeding program with support from partners that include the World Food Program. A press release with program implementation details will be disseminated to the media very shortly. On Tuesday, May 5th, 2020, the ministry, in collaboration with the World Food Program, convened a zero hunger roundtable with leading lights of the private sector. And these participants included Tony Elumelu, Tony Cole, Indidi, Onwuneli, and many others. The roundtable was convened in recognition of the fact that in times of crisis, hunger is a byproduct, and despite concerted efforts by the government and the business elite, much more needs to be done to put food on the table of the most vulnerable in our society. Aside from other interventions, the federal government has released and handed over 14,910 metric tons of grains from the strategic grains reserves to Lagos, Ogun, Kano, and FCT till date. Deployment is ongoing to the other remaining frontline states. 35 states and the FCT have received varying numbers of trucks of rice distributed by the Nigerian Customs Service. Through the Nigerian Customs Service. We are now working with the World Food Program and the private sector to tackle the challenge posed by hunger, because we believe that collaborations will foster better outcomes. As you may be aware, at the onset of the pandemic, the National Social Register contained data of over 2.6 million poor and vulnerable households with over 11 million individuals across 34 states and the FCT. With the accelerated registration and rapid expansion, the register has now grown to 3.1 million, equivalent to 13 million individuals across 35 states and the FCT. In addition, the ministry has finalized processes for the development of the COVID-19 Rapid Response Register targeting the urban poor, semi- and peri-urban areas. This register will use existing databases from the National Communication Commission's BVN, from NAPES, SMIDAN, etc., and synthesize these databases and filter the information to then register these individuals into the Rapid Response Register for immediate support as directed by Mr. President. Finally, the Ministry will be unveiling our new strategic direction soon. The overarching objective is to industrialize the current social investment program into an integrated program so that it is sustainable into the future. Thank you for your time, and I'll wait for questions that might come up. Thank you.